Hi friendos, my name is Stuart and welcome back to our look into cult Disney franchises like Atlantis. This isn't our first time discovering a Disney classic, and if you haven't checked out our Mulan, Lion King, Hercules, or any of those other videos, please do. There's a lot to delve into the Disney vaults. Anyways, we'll be looking into a couple of movies this month. First one being Atlantis: The Lost Kingdom and its sequel, and the later one this month is going to be one of my favorite princesses ever. This movie, however, focuses on the rediscovery of Atlantis, set in the turn of the century, which has attained its place as a cult classic. And while we're going to stick to one character in particular, Best Girl, we've opted to broaden our scope to cover both Kida and her love interest Milo. Kida is a denizen of Atlantis, over 8,000 years old. She looks pretty good. She's been kept alive with the power of the Heart of Atlantis, a crystal that gives the Atlanteans their long life and, once upon a time, access to some of the greatest weapons ever created by man. Kida, much like several victims of Disney Princess Syndrome, wants to leave her quaint little town to see the world and... I want more. Anyway, Kida is the protector of Atlantis and is probably on paper the most active Disney princess. Currently, she mostly just defends its borders and as of yet hasn't really entered politics. So we're gonna start Kida as lawful good, because as we established earlier, there is no good politician.
Find me a single politician that isn't evil.
Milo Thatch, meanwhile, is a put-down academic who believes in the myths of the lost civilization of Atlantis, an obsession he had inherited from his grandfather. However, much like his grandfather, Milo has been ridiculed by his peers and is constantly belittled. I realize that I pronounced Milo in about 2 different ways right there. Get mad about it. When we first meet Milo, he is eager to uncover his dream. The dude's been so beaten down that he isn't taken seriously, and he's stuck taking care of a boiler in the depths of a museum. We're going to start Milo at true neutral. If you want us to cover more Disney properties in the future, be sure to search the watery depths below and click the like and subscribe button. Blast the bell with your Atlantean weapons, and so you can receive all loading crew notifications. And journey down to the ocean blue and share this video around with others. And be sure to dive into the comment section and let us know what other characters you'd like us to cover. And with that out of the way, let's go.
Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me okay? Good afternoon, gentlemen.
In 1914, Milo practices his upcoming meeting to request an expedition to the lost city of Atlantis. Too bad he's snubbed by the board, who won't even hear him out. Even when Milo threatens to quit, he's browbeaten into staying put to maintain a boiler. Ah, the American Work Institute. Good to know it hasn't changed in 100 years. True neutral.
I came down the chimney. Ho, ho, ho. My name is Helga Sinclair.
Returning home, Milo is met by a beautiful woman with an enticing offer. Milo learns that a friend of his grandfather's discovered a book that could help discover Atlantis. Proving his commitment, Milo joins an expedition into the lost city. Lawful neutral.
Blondie, I got a bone to pick with you.
Hold that thought.
You done stuffed my wagon full to busting with non-essentials. Look at all this.
Milo catches up the crew and does his best to keep up with the eccentric personalities and guide them. Writers and DMs, if you ever want to figure out how to make your NPCs or other background characters memorable, just look at all these guys. They are so funny. Lawful neutral. You know what? I haven't done this before. Nat 20, secondary cast. I love each and every one of them. They're all hilarious. Surviving an attack from the lethal Leviathan, Milo guides the remaining crew through the undersea catacombs. And while he's a rookie, Milo pulls his weight, even as people doubt his abilities. After proving himself and fixing a drill with his mechanical know-how, Milo is accepted and is part of the gang. Lawful neutral. Patrolling the borders, Kida sees Milo and his camp attacked by firebugs. She saves him from his injuries, patching him up, and accidentally leads Milo to Atlantis. Neutral good for Kida.
I seen this back in the Dakota. They can smell fear just by looking at you, so keep quiet.
With the outsiders and Atlanteans face to face, Kida demands answers. Milo deciphers the language and is able to convince that they come in peace. Excited at these strangers who know about their past, Kida ignores the sacred rules and brings them into the city. Chaotic good for Kida for breaking the rules, but allowing the adventurers into Atlantis. And lawful good for Milo for being diplomatic.
Speak my language. Pardon, mademoiselle. Voulez-vous...
Listen, by all accounts, there's nothing wrong with flirting. Even dirty flirting. but there is something wrong with punching people. But this is a comedy. I don't care. We all need to loosen up. I'm going to call this true neutral. Fight me. Meeting with the Atlantean king Spock, Kida fails to convince her father to allow the outsiders into their home. Milo, in turn, plays translator for his commanding officer, Rourke. I don't think I'm saying that right either, but who cares? We'll give a lawful good for Milo to wanting to listen to Nimoy, while Kida gets a chaotic good for ignoring the rules set up by her father, even if she believes this would help the city in the long run.
Someone with good people skills.
I will do it.
Someone who won't scare her away.
I volunteer.
Someone who can speak the language.
For the good of the mission, I will go.
And while the group suspects that the Atlanteans are hiding something, Milo asks if he can speak with Kida and seduces the princess. Kida is all down to get some quality time with Milo, learning of the ancient Atlantean language that has been lost from their stagnating civilization. It's nice and cute as Milo and Kida help uncover the lost history at Atlantis and its relic, the heart. Lawful neutral for the both of them. Discovering the heart of Atlantis is keeping the city running, Milo learns too late that Rourke and the crew are ready to make like an early explorer and discover Atlantis and its resources. Kida tries to fight back but is captured. Forced at gunpoint to continue to help his friends, Milo obliges, but along with plenty of backtalk. Chaotic good.
I don't even know what's holding it up there.
Leading to the heart, Kida is called to the relic to become one with it. Saying some last words to Milo, Kida fuses with it. Milo, hearing Kida's message, lies to Rourke about hearing it. True neutral.
So, I guess this is how it ends, huh?
With Atlantis powerless and likely to die a slow death, Milo finally hurls enough insults at his friends for most of them to finally come back. With some last-minute plot from a dead Spock, Milo rushes to save Kida and Atlantis. He teams up with the Atlanteans and his friends and shows them how to use the ancient tech, and battles Rourke to stop him from taking Kida and thus dooming Atlantis. Lawful good. With Rourke defeated, Milo saves Kida and Atlantis. Kida becomes Atlantis' ruler and helps teaches her people about the lost history with Milo, who chooses to stay with him. He sends his friends and Whitmore a thank you as a grand adventure awaits for them. Lawful good. Ah, fuck. Now King and Queen reagent, Milo and Kida begin tossing around the chance to rejoin Atlantis with the world. They're interrupted when Milo's friends return looking for help. With a strange monster resembling the Leviathan attacking several ships, Kida and Milo leave Atlantis to help the world, feeling this may have ties to Atlantis' past sins. Lawful good. Attacked by a kraken, Milo, Kida, and the gang defend themselves before they are forced to dock on an island. Meeting a clearly not evil magistrate, the gang learn that the guy sold his soul to the Kraken, gaining psychic powers. Okay. Anyway, they blow up the Kraken, which kills the magistrate, and they save the town and the rest of the ships. Neutral good, I think.
This time there was no Leviathan. But how do we know there are not other Atlantean weapons out there?
Not looking at the scenery, huh?
Taking a moment to rest, Kida wonders if people like the Magistrate would misuse Atlantean tech, with Milo pointing out the cons of sticking to isolationism and halting progress in their own city. Receiving word of an odd sighting and Atlantic relics found in the American Southwest, the two decide to stop their return home and go investigate. Neutral good for Milo, and neutral for Kida.
Now that painting's of Crystal Guardian, who crawled from the earth with weapons of blue fire. He was a great teacher and healer of the sick, or so the legend goes.
How much is it?
Finding several borrowed Atlantean-like artifacts in a shop, Kido buys them from the swindler with no hesitation. Also, as everyone rightly points out, this guy has bad vibes. I guess. After encountering a Native American spirit that is after them for disturbing his home grounds, the group confronts the con man, who confesses to his crimes but offers to help. They are then surprised when they are nearly double-crossed and then let the guy be consumed by the ancient spirits. What the fuck? Chaotic neutral, maybe?
Chikashi, we also carry a great secret. Thus, we can keep yours as well.
Likely to meet the same fate, the group proves that they need to keep a secret. This earns them safe passage from the spirit who lets them leave and gives Kida confidence in Atlantis' future. Okay? Sure. This episode sucks. Neutral.
We had a break-in last night.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. But it burns me that someone could waltz right in here.
Milo and Kida are interrupted from going home again when they learn Whitmore has had something stolen. Learning the modern-day Odin has stolen an ancient Atlantean weapon that will bring about Ragnarok, the group go to save the world. Sounds familiar? Anyway, they quickly realize that Odin has gone crazy and battled two elemental spirits. They stop them, obtain the weapon, and take Odin to a hospital to get help. Lawful good. Also, if you know anything about 1914's mental health scene, not sure how much help that guy's gonna get.
I learned many things from your world. Most of all, I think I now know my father better.
With their adventure finally over, Kida uses the knowledge that she's gained to make a choice for the future. She brings Atlantis to the surface world, with the world prospering with the ancient civilization among them again. I really need to preface that the first movie, while flawed, is a very good watch. The cast of characters is really solid, and the meme goldmine that was the first movie cannot be understated. It's actually pretty amazing how many reaction gifs you can just pull out of that movie. Plus, the characters are all memorable from the first film, and I remember the backstory and quirks of Sweet, Mole, Vinny, Audrey, Cookie, and Packard. Yeah, I remember them after all these years. But refocusing on the two protagonists, Milo is the standard meek character who learns to build confidence in himself as he has a gift that has been lost to many. And unlike several other Disney princes, or whatever you want to call them, Milo not only stands up with the girl, but they also marry and become king regent, and he continues to help others with his knowledge of myths and legends. Kida, meanwhile, goes through a constant struggle of trying to figure out how to respond to the isolationism Atlantis upheld for 1,000 years. In a lot of ways, it mirrors T'Challa and his struggle with Wakanda in the first Black Panther movie. Only, you know, they're both flawed, whatever. Both Wakanda and Atlantis held the means to change the world for good, but for ill, both saw numerous examples of others benefiting and misusing that power. However, ultimately, they both decide to open up and help the world at large. She may be new to the world and its experiences, but Kida is very capable. I like her, for reasons. Also, she's badass and she works with her guy, and you know what? I love power couples in media. We need more of these. If you haven't seen the first movie, go check it out. And I absolutely do not recommend the second movie because it was a pitched pilot that failed that they packaged into a DVD to recoup their losses. Fuck corporatism, am I right? Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you like Atlantis? I imagine most of you do. You clicked on this video and listened to me rant about it and mispronounce names for about 15 minutes. But what other adventures would you like us to cover? Let us know in the comment section down below. Thank you to the patrons, and I'll see you all next time.